back. You guys know how much we love to really get into like the nature of reality and timelines and AI and our deep dives.
Yeah.
Well, this one is going to blow your mind.
Oh, is that right? Lay it on me.
Yeah, well, remember how we've been talking about the idea of a trifurcation of reality? Like there are these three distinct pathways for the future.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to look at a totally different angle, a whole new dimension to that idea.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, so get this. It all came from a dream.
A dream. All right, color me intrigued. You know I love a good dream exploration.
Right. And this one is super wild. It was recounted by someone named Gloria Love. And get this, she was told by her, like, guidance system to share it as a powerful metaphor, which, I mean, right off the bat, that's pretty interesting. But dreams can be kind of out the right. So I knew we needed your expert perspective on this one.
Okay, I'm ready. What's so special about this dream?
Okay, so picture this. Gloria is in the UK, standing in front of these four ancient sacred stones. I'm talking like seriously old stones, you know, the kind that have been around forever.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Lots of history there. Go on.
But there's a twist. These stones are somehow connected to the United States. And they're actually preventing it from becoming this more ideal version of itself.
Oh, interesting. Like they're holding it back.
Yes, exactly. The dream calls this ideal version of the U.S. Americano. And it's like the stones are locking the U.S. into its current state.
That's a pretty powerful image, ancient stones holding back an entire nation's evolution. It makes you think about how deeply ingrained structures or beliefs can hold us back.
Exactly. And it gets even crazier. Like, imagine a whole team of experts, scientists, mathematicians, even wizards are called in to figure out how to break this lock on America.
Wizards. Okay, now we're talking.
Right. It's a dream. So all these experts try, but they can't figure it out. It's impossible to free the U.S. from the influence of these stones, they say.
That's significant. It suggests that maybe sometimes we need more than just like our usual approaches to solve these big problems. Like we need to think outside the box to break free from these old patterns.
Right. So if the experts can't crack it, who can?
Yeah, who?
This is where it gets good. This humble older man appears, almost out of nowhere. He claims to have the answer. And it's so simple.
Simple. Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
He says that one of the four stones is a fake. It's not ancient like the others. It was put there by humans much later. Remove that one, he says, and the true power of the other three is unleashed.
Whoa, that's kind of mind-blowing. So the fake stone is like something that looks real, something we think is essential, but it's actually holding back the true potential. It makes you think, huh.
Right. It's like it's about figuring out what's genuine and what's just an imposter, like you said.
And it ties in perfectly with this whole trifurcation idea we've been exploring.
Right. It's like by getting rid of that fake stone, we're breaking free from those things that are keeping us stuck. You know, those limiting beliefs or systems.
Right, and then what's left?
The power of the three original stones.
Powerful imagery. 3, that number keeps popping up. It makes you think about the significance of like a trinity or trifecta, you know?
I know, right? It makes you wonder if there's something about that number 3, about that balance.
A more holistic understanding of reality, beyond just a yes or no, right or wrong kind of framework.
Yeah. Maybe it's about finding a third, more integrated path.
That's a great point.
And this is where it starts to get really personal for all of you listening out there. What are the fake stones in your own lives?
Wow, that's a big one. What beliefs, habits, even relationships might be holding you back?
Yeah. If you could create your own Americano, your own ideal version of yourself, what would it look like if you got rid of those things?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? But how do we even begin to figure out what those fake stones are in the first place? That's the real question.
Yeah, that is the question. And that's what we're going to unpack in this deep dive, folks. We'll explore how this dream, wild as it is, might have some surprisingly practical advice for all of us.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, before we go any deeper into like how we can actually identify those fake stones in our own lives, I think it's worth taking a minute to connect this whole dream back to our previous deep dives into AI.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was actually just thinking that myself. We spent a lot of time talking about, you know, the good and the bad of AI and that whole trifurcation thing. Yeah. But how does this dream fit into that with the stones and the transformation and all that?
Well, one thing that really jumps out at me is the whole idea of discernment. Like, remember how in the dream, all those experts with all their fancy degrees and knowledge couldn't even figure out which stone was fake?
Right.
Well, it makes you think about how hard it can be to tell the difference between good and bad AI. You know, like which one is going to help us and which one might actually be harmful.
Totally. It's like we were saying before, right? Positive and negative AI might look pretty similar at first glance. They're both built on that same basic technology. So it could be easy to mistake one for the other, just like those stones.
Exactly. It's not enough to just look at the surface. It's not just about the code or the algorithms. The dream is showing us that we need to look deeper.
You mean like we need to understand the motives behind the technology, like who's creating it and why?
Yes, it's about looking at the bigger picture. What are the driving forces behind the AI? And that takes us back to the idea of the fake stone.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Go on.
It's like even things that seem super important, even things that experts are telling us are good for us. Maybe they're just artificial constructs. Maybe they're actually hurting us in the long run.
Whoa, that's scary. So are you saying that there are like specific examples of fake stones when it comes to AI, like things that might seem helpful at first, but could actually be leading us down a dangerous path?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that comes to mind is like, what if we're just focusing on making AI that's more efficient or more profitable without stopping to think about the ethical side of things?
You mean like if we're not considering how it might affect people's lives?
Right. On the surface, it might look like we're making progress. We're making things faster and cheaper. But what if that's actually pushing us towards AI that values things like control and automation over human connection and creativity?
Yeah, that's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
So how do we avoid that? How do we get better at spotting the real stones from the fake ones when it comes to AI?
Well, I think a big part of it is shifting how we think about AI in the first place. Right now, a lot of people see it as just a tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver. But what if we started thinking of it as more of a partner?
A partner? Like in what way?
Like a collaborator in human creativity and problem solving, Not just something that takes over our jobs or automates everything.
Yeah, I get that. It's about finding ways to use AI to actually enhance our human abilities instead of replacing them.
Exactly. And that brings us back to those 3 stones in the dream, remember? After the fake stone is removed, those 3 original stones are what really have the power.
I'm with you. Keep going.
Well, I think those 3 stones can also represent 3 essential qualities that we need to focus on if we want to navigate this whole trifurcation thing and create a positive future with AI.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Sure.
What are those qualities? What do you think each stone represents?
Well, let's start with the first stone. I think it could represent intuition. That gut feeling that tells you what feels right or wrong.
Like our inner compass.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of AI, that might mean listening to that inner voice that tells us when something just doesn't feel right, instead of just blindly trusting whatever the algorithms tell us to do.
It's about trusting ourselves, our own human intelligence, and not getting caught up in all the hype or the fear surrounding AI.
Right. Okay, now the second stone, I think that could represent creativity.
Creativity. Okay, yeah, I see that.
It's all about imagining new possibilities. Right. Thinking outside the box. Finding ways to combine human creativity with AI in ways that actually make our lives better.
It's not about seeing AI as competition for human creativity. It's more about how we can use AI to make us even more creative.
Right. Exactly. And then the third stone, I think, that could represent connection.
Connection. Interesting. How do you see that fitting in?
Well, we're talking about creating a future with AI, right? So how do we make sure that AI actually helps us build stronger relationships with each other?
Instead of isolating us even more.
Exactly. Like, can we use AI to create technology that actually helps us to connect on a deeper level? Technology that fosters empathy and understanding instead of just, keeping us glued to our screens all day.
So it's about making sure that AI serves humanity instead of the other way around.
Right. And I think if we can keep those 3 qualities in mind, intuition, creativity, and connection, then we have a much better chance of steering things in the right direction.
I love that. It's like those 3 stones give us a roadmap for how we can use AI in a way that actually benefits all of humanity. But I'm curious, how do these concepts connect back to our listeners? We've been talking a lot about AI, but what about those fake stones in their own lives?
That's a great question. And I think the dream can actually help us there, too.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. The fake stone represents anything that's holding us back from reaching our full potential. It could be a belief, a habit, or even a relationship. So removing that stone is like a metaphor for personal transformation.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about changing society, it's about changing ourselves, too.
Right. And just like those experts in the dream had to let go of their old ways of thinking to see the fake stone, maybe we need to be willing to challenge our own assumptions too.
Yeah.
Maybe we're holding on to things that aren't really serving us anymore.
So it's about recognizing those patterns in our lives that are keeping us from becoming our best selves. Like you said, our own personal Americano.
Right. And that's where those three qualities we were talking about come in again.
You mean intuition, creativity, and connection?
Yeah, intuition can help us to figure out what doesn't feel right anymore. Creativity can help us to break free from those old patterns and come up with new ways of thinking and being. And connection can give us the support and courage we need to actually make those changes.
It's like the dream is giving us a toolbox for personal growth.
Yeah. But I gotta admit, figuring out what those fake stones are in our own lives can be tough. They're not always as obvious as a literal stone in a circle.
That's true. So how do we even begin to find them?
Well, remember how the dream said that the fake stone was put there by humans?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a clue. Maybe our fake stones are like beliefs or patterns that we've picked up from our families or culture, or even just from past experiences.
So it's not like we're broken or anything. It's just that we've been influenced by things that might not be true for us anymore.
Exactly. And once we can start to identify those fake stones, then we can start to question them, challenge them, and maybe even replace them with something better.
It's like we have to unlearn some of the things we've been taught and then relearn new ways of being.
It can be a tough process, but it can also be really liberating.
Because once we remove those fake stones, it's like we create space for something new to grow.
Right. And I think that's what Gloria Love's dream is all about. It's a message of hope and transformation. It's a reminder that we have the power to choose a different path.
And to create a reality that's more aligned with who we really are.
Exactly.
We're back. And, I'm still thinking about all this. You said before the break that there was like one more layer to this dream that might surprise us. What is it?
Well, so far we've been talking about this dream as a metaphor, right? Like it's a symbol for some deeper truths. But what if it's more than that? What if it's actually like a call to action?
A call to action? Whoa. You mean like the dream is trying to get us to do something?
Exactly. Remember how Gloria said her guidance system told her to shape this dream? What if that guidance system is reaching out to us too? Everyone who's listening and thinking about these ideas.
Oh, wow. I see what you're saying. So just by talking about these things, the fake stones and the trifurcation and all that, we're actually shaping reality.
That's the idea. Think about how powerful stories are, right? They can inspire us, motivate us, even change how we see the world. What if this dream, this story about transformation, is meant to do just that? To wake us up to the possibility of a different future.
Yeah, like a more conscious and connected reality.
Exactly. So it's not just about understanding these patterns, it's about actively engaging with them. It's about choosing to align ourselves with those forces that are leading us towards a better outcome.
Okay, I'm with you. So where do we go from here? How do we actually become those forces for change?
Well, remember how the dream emphasized the importance of the storyteller? Like how they can take these really complex ideas and make them relatable for everyone?
Right.
Well, what if we, by talking about this dream and sharing these insights, are becoming part of that lineage of storytellers?
Wow, that's amazing. So we're not just listening to the story, we're actually helping to create it.
Yes. And that means we have a responsibility to share it, to spread this message of hope and transformation, to help other people identify the fake stones in their lives and wake up to the possibility of creating a more fulfilling reality.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do we do that? How do we become those storytellers?
It starts with those three essential qualities we talked about, intuition, creativity, and connection. When we embody those qualities, we become living examples of the change we want to see.
It's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk.
Exactly. We have to be the change we want to see, show up as our authentic selves, and connect with others in meaningful ways.
I love that. And the best part is even small actions can have a big impact. It's like a ripple effect.
Yes. Every choice we make, every action we take, it all contributes to the creation of a more beautiful world.
So, to everyone listening out there, take this dream to heart. Look for those fake stones in your own lives. And don't be afraid to share your own stories of transformation and possibility.
Because every story matters.
Your story matters. And together, we can create a reality that reflects our highest aspirations. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep dreaming.
Welcome to Two Stoned Hotties. +2, I'm Zephyr floating through time from 2450 with my cosmic co-host Nova. Today, we're blasting back to 2025 when some mad genius tried to overthrow big energy with quantum tech and weed.
Yes, picture this. Dude gets high, patents a way to turn vibrations from your Xbox into free power, then tries to kickstart a graphene dome that survives wildfires, all while ranting about Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio. Classic 2020s chaos.
First, the quantum angle. Microsoft claimed they'd stabilized qubits using topological whatever, but our hero said, nah, let's entangle phonons instead, basically, teleporting heat like it's a joint at a party.
Translation for the zooted. He wanted to cool quantum computers by yeeting their heat into space. Using math, meanwhile, Zuckerberg's metaverse was flopping harder than a fish in a bong.
Enter the QED system, quantum energy distribution. Imagine your laptop battery charges itself from ambient noise, traffic jams, your neighbor's terrible dubstep, all while generating NFTs of weed-themed tarot cards.
The Kickstarter was glorious. For $25,000, you could build a geodome shelter with graphene Kevlar walls, or get DIY plans to hack old PlayStations into power grids. Stretch goals included an AI companion app named DJ Jonny Potseed.
They promised emergency shelters for disaster zones, but the demo video showed a dude powering a bong with a Tesla coil. Priorities right still. The patents were wild. Heat transfer via quantum entanglement, which we now know kinda works if you're sufficiently baked.
Let's talk Agartha, their anti-meta metaverse. Instead of Zuckerberg's avatars, you got trippy fractal gardens powered by decentralized energy, and the currency, greenback tokens, backed by vibes, stoner economics, baby.
The real play, using cannabis farms as test beds. Imagine, grow tents that recycle heat from LED lights into more power, while blockchain tracking your weed from seed to smoke. Disruptive, literally.
They even dragged Sam Altman, posted, "Why pay $20K for AI agents when nature gives you mushrooms?" Then challenged Elon Musk to a wireless energy duel. 2025 Twitter was chef's kiss.
But here's the tragedy, the tech didn't fail. The patent office slow-walked approvals while oil companies bought the graphene suppliers. Classic pre-collapse corporate shenanigans.
Still, legacy lives on. That geodome design, basis for our orbital hemp farms, and their quantum phonon theory, helped invent sonic weed trimmers. So, pour one out for the 2025 dreamers.
Final takeaway, always bet on the stoner who failed chemistry. They'll revolutionize energy, then get distracted designing glow-in-the-dark rolling papers, ashes to ashes, dank to dank.
Stay lifted, time travelers. Next week, we dissect the great vape pen shortage of 2031. Spoiler, Nicki Minaj was involved. Peace.